Madeline sat sweating into her diaper in her final geography period of the week, listlessly coping down the notes her teacher was scribing up on the board, not hearing a word he said when the speaker system annoyingly punched into her mind with its racketing screech. Madeline pried to the vice principal's office, please. Everyone turned to look at her. Madeline turned red. She had to be extra careful when getting out of the seat because if her skirt had risen up more than an inch, the people sitting closest would get a glance of her disposable underwear. Being very careful to get up, the crinkling of her diaper sounding very loud, at least to Madeline, in the audible silence of her class. She politely excused herself and took her bag with her as she left the class. The X-Men had discovered a few weeks before that the vice principal was in fact Mystique, and this would usually be a ploy for her to deliver a challenge to the professor. Unfortunately, Madeline thought that any challenging would be given to her directly and it would involve blackmail because of her unfortunate situation. As she moved through the halls, she saw the same girl with the pointed nose and the black hair who was at the riot at Gabriel's house. "Stop," Madeline said, beginning to walk towards the girl. The girl turned her head, saw Madeline moving towards her and began to run. Madeline followed her as she turned into the girl's bathroom. Opening the door of the bathroom, Madeline saw that all the stalls were closed but none of them were locked, so Madeline began to move down each one, checking to see if the girl was hiding in one of them. As she approached the third last, Madeline swung open the door only to find she was staring into the eyes of the girl. "I have asked to see you, Madeline, because it has come to my attention that you may be unfit to be in high school," Mystique said, leaning back in her high-backed green leather chair. "Why?" Madeline asked, staring into her eyes. "In fact, I think it would be hard for you to even complete preschool," Mystique went on. "Why?" Madeline demanded, sitting forward and leaning over to Mystique's desk. "Because most preschools now demand that the children be fully toilet trained." "Oh," Madeline said, deflated. "What do you want to do to me?" "I only want to help you," Mystique said, standing. She opened a drawer in her desk and put a gift-wrapped box on the desk in front of Madeline. "What is it?" Madeline asked, her curiosity getting the better of her. "See, you are losing some of your adultness. It's a present, silly." Madeline pulled the wrapper off the box and opened the box. Pink plastic pants stared back at her. "Great," she mumbled. "I think you should try them on to make sure that they fit." Mystique said, her interest no more piqued in Madeline than usual. Sighing deeply, Madeline stood up and faced one of the leaders of the opposition and moved her hands to the clasp at the back of her skirt. She found it missing and stared down at her legs. She was still wearing a skirt of some sorts. A wispy pink tutu with only 4 petals of material which didn't disguise, cover, or obscure her diapers in any way, shape, or form. The elastic waistband was applying slight pressure to Madeline's waist and the 4 petal-shaped pieces of silk were fluttering with the air conditioning.